We're more than 60 games into the season, and I got to know who's your MVP. Here's my dialogue. I got a little dialogue for this, Jay. All right. So, in my opinion, it's a 5-man race, which is super dope. I ain't gonna lie. Like
That's a lot.
I feel like it hasn't been a 5-man race in a long time. I feel like every single year it's usually 2 to 3-man race. I think that there's 5 players who can genuinely get the MVP, and I wouldn't be mind blown about it.
Talk to me. I hope you get this right. I want to hear who number 5 is.
Them 5. This is in no order. Them 5 being Luka, Jokic, Tatum, Giannis, and the real MVP, which is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why real quick, Jay.
Hold on. Tatum, number 5, please expound.
No. That was not me giving them in order. I'm just saying.
I know you said you didn't give them in order. Well, first off, it's the 2-man race, but like Tatum, I don't want to digress. You was ready to defend Shai. You was ready to defend Shai.
And I'll get to that. For me to back Jason Tatum, I'm not saying I have Jason Tatum winning. I'll be clear. I'll be honest right now. I have SGA winning. I'll get into reasons right now in a second. But just to respond to that comment, yo, come on, Jay. We're not going to act like the Celtics aren't not just the best team in the league and he's not the best player on the best team in the league. He has to get some type of MVP consideration. The best player on the best team in the league doesn't get no MVP consideration.
He is the best player on the best team. But no, that does not, again, maybe we can call into favoritism or like this is the way it's always been. But to me, there's like tiers to this. And he, like, when we're going to say consideration, I'm not going to put number 5 in there. Like some years it might be the consideration ends at 3. Sometimes the consideration might end at 7. But to me, there's a hard cutoff at number 4, right? It's Giannis and it's Luka, and as 3 and 4, in my opinion. Okay, and that's just where it is. And that line between 4 and 5 is too big to say top 5. But that's just, I mean, with semantics, you know.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, like how you said, SBC is all subjective. And what I think is that I think that the best player on the best team with the best record absolutely at least deserves consideration in my top 5. Now, is it mainly a 2-man race? It is mainly a 2-man race. And I will go ahead and get into who I got for MVP. And like I said, I think it's Shai for these reasons. I mean, right now, the man is averaging 31 points per game, which is second in the league right now. He's averaging 2.1 steals, which is first in the league right now. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 54% from the field, 37% from the 3-point line. But don't let that number fool you. Man only takes about 3 3-pointers per game. But that's on the season, okay? I'm going to talk about his post-All-Star break numbers, okay, Jay? Because this is where things get tricky, and it's kind of hard to not give Shai the MVP. Since post-All-Star, he's been taking at least 5 3-pointers per game, shooting it at an even better 40% from the 3-point line. Mind you, he's still shooting his 91% from the free throw line post-All-Star break. Top of the league in field goal percentages, as always, right now shooting 53% from the field post-All-Star break. So basically, post All-Star, he's posting 50, 40, 90 numbers. Absolutely insane. But let's get into some more stats, right? Shai leads the league in total win shares. Jokic is second, Luka is third, Giannis is fourth, Sabonis is fifth, and then Tatum ends up being eighth. Some more stats we can get into. I talked about the leading the league in steals at 2.1. Now, these numbers are not just empty numbers, though, Jay, because Oklahoma City Thunder is a top 5 defensive rating team in the league. So he is playing a big part and leading the league in steals for a team that is a good defensive team. Also, a crazy stat that I found online about SGA. When SGA gets a steal, Jay, Oklahoma City Thunder on that next possession has an offensive rating of 147 in that next possession, which is absolutely insane, which means what tells me is that when he gets that steal, he's converting on the other end. It's turning into 2 points on the other end. And then just to get away from the stats, for some people out there that aren't all about the stats and just think eye test matters a lot more. We can get into that when we talk about most valuable player, Jay. That's what the MVP is, right? Most valuable player. There's no way that the Oklahoma City Thunder are here where they are, which is tied for the best record in the league, without the value add that Shea has brought to this team. And I just cannot say that for any other five of, in my opinion, I mean, the four other candidates, in my opinion. There's no way that that team is where they are without the value add that Shea has gave them. Also, relative to preseason expectations, Jay, I was doing some research on this. The Thunder's over under on their wins preseason was 44 wins. Right now, they're currently tied for the number one seed with 46 wins, and there's about 10 to 15 games left still in the season. There's no holes in his game. He can attack and get to the hoop on literally anybody. He leads the NBA in drives per game. He can shoot, whether it be midi, whether it be a three-pointer. He can play make for others. He understands the game within the game. So check this out, Jay. This is the last thing I'll say. When you take everything into account, when you take stats, you take impact, you take storyline, it has to go to Shea. And I don't. And also, last thing I'll say. Actually, I said the last one thing was the last, but this is the last thing. I think also, like, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think the MVP, like, you gotta want it, bro. You gotta care about this thing. I think you gotta care about, not, you don't gotta care about MVP more than winning, but you gotta show that you give, excuse my French, two shits about it. And I just feel like Jokic doesn't. Like, and I take offense to that as someone who's so passionate about the game of basketball. Like, bro, what do you mean? What do you mean you're watching horses on your phone before NBA practice, sitting next to Jamal Murray? Like, I'm not saying NBA players can't have side hobbies. By all means, you guys have all the side hobbies in the world, but in my opinion, basketball needs to be your one thing that consumes you. Like, it got to be your fire. And I see that in Shea, and I don't see that in Jokic. I feel like Mans is in a cruise control mode, which I understand. Bro just won a championship. Bro just ran through the league. So sometimes maybe, like, kind of like how Trae Young said a couple of years ago, it's like, I was just in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, how can I get turned up for a game just in mid-January? But to me, that's the difference between the greats and the goods and the greats. The greats, they're going to give it to you, even if they've won a championship, even if, whatever they've been through. I just don't think Jokic wants it as bad as Shea.
Okay. Great stuff. I feel your energy. You almost convinced me. You almost did. You almost did. The first thing I want to expand on was one of your last points,
okay,
which I don't think is fair. I think that Jokic definitely cares, and he cares based off of his like his proof that I see that he cares is his production. I like the numbers, where the team is at with their record, when he's arguing over a call, when he's taking advantage of every possession. Like when he says he doesn't care about an award, I truly believe him with the words coming out of his mouth. And again, maybe this is my decade and a half on you, but it's work-life balance, bro. It's work-life balance. And it's the things that he can't control, right? So if you want the MVP, you blood, sweat, and tears, and you bleed for that MVP, and then you get screwed because some sort of voting bias or voter fatigue, right? Because he's been in this running for about 4 or 5 years now. And the voters may just say, we're tired of voting for Jokic. If he's emotionally invested in that and he's over here talking about it, bleeding for it so John can see it, like, that's emotionally draining, especially when you don't come up with it. Like, all he can control is putting up the numbers, and like he tells me how much he lives and breathes and dies this shit when he has the body transformation that he had. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, chubby boy out here, like, just getting buckets. And like, he puts in work. They grind him on defense too. Like, they try to attack him. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, and you spat out a lot of stats and a lot of good stuff on SGA. Like, man, I love him. But when I have to play devil's advocate, I'm going against him because he is the best. I want to say he's the best guard in the league right now. The others in consideration, I would say, are Halliburton, Steph, and Ant. And he's got the best crew around him. And not only that, his ability to draw a foul and get anywhere on the paint that he wants to get. is second to none right now. But the rest of that team is so stacked, like that. I'm not gonna say they wouldn't fall off a map if he wasn't on the roster this year.
You talking about Shea right now?
Yeah, like they definitely no hold on, time out. They would be
a play-in
the
team,
9th or 10th seed,
a play-in team.
Like yeah, they'd be a play-in team.
Except they're the number one
seed. I'm not out here. I'm not out here to disrespect SGA. I'm out here to advocate for Jokic right now. Okay. That's not what this is. This is not shooting slander on
I feel you, brother.
Because he's my guy right now. But like when you look at the rebounds is one thing. Like you have to have secondary rim protection when you're dealing with Jokic. Jokic commands a certain lineup or we're just going to murder you.
Yeah.
Like I'm eliminating 6 playoffs teams in the West just because Jokic is never going to get hurt. He's going to touch the ball in the paint, and whether he's the one to put up the bucket or to find the assist is going through him. So requiring a team to have secondary rim protection, to have pristine closeouts and defensive rotations, the way his rebounding doubles Shea. Now, again, I'm getting to a positional thing where it's like, this isn't even Shea versus Jokic anymore. This is the top big man in the game versus the top lead guard in the game. Yeah. And I'm going to choose the top big man regardless of whose face or whose stats or what team they play for. So closing out possessions, creating possessions with his 14, 15. How many rebounds a game is he averaging? What is that? 12.3? Yeah, 12.3 rebounds per game. His assist to usage ratio, I was looking at some of these advanced stats and how many times he's creating buckets and the replacement level. So like when I look at Jokic and then I say, what kind of guard could he get it done with? I'm almost looking at it like Jokic and Murray versus SGA and Chet. If you had to replace Chet with a mediocre big man, how far do they get? Thunder are stacked and very uniquely built. Like when you compare Jokic, Aaron Gordon and Murray are very talented, but I could go grind and try to replace those guys, and I could argue that Denver would find a different way to win. It would look a little different, but because Jokic is the tip of the spear. Go ahead, please.
I'm out. Hold on. Please, I need to make sure I understood that. You're saying you could go find other players like Jamal Murray and the rest? Is that what you just said?
I'm saying that replacement level players. I'm saying like who would suffer more if Chet was replaced with Daniel Gafford or if Jamal Murray was replaced with Terry Rozier? Replacement level players.
So if Terry Rozier went to the Nuggets instead of Jamal Murray, right?
Yeah. Like you swapped out Jamal Murray for Terry Rozier.
And then who's the other one?
And then swapped out Chet for Daniel Gafford. Good players, right?
The Thunder would be players. I think the Thunder would be hurt more, in my opinion. Bro, no, go ahead.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe he's not even a good one. Maybe Kelly Olynyk instead because of Chet's stretching the floor. What I'm saying is the replacement level on Jokic versus Shea, like what he does, you can't replicate it. So if Jokic is so good that he can deal, like he can lift the team higher. Granted, Jamal Murray's a star. They would have had real issues trying to win the title without him. Yes. And they wouldn't have really.
Yes, they would.
But I argue it's not just take Jamal Murray off the team. It's like that's $35 million. If you downgraded him, how far would the Nuggets make it? That's my point. And I'm saying that the Thunder wouldn't even have, like, they're on the map now. The difference between last year and this year, well, yeah, it's Jay Will. It's Chet.
Okay. All right. No, you're right. Okay, you're right. I'll give you. It's not fully Chet, but I think the biggest reason is dimension.
No. I mean,
he's gotten so much better, brother. So much
to
better.
Last year.
Yeah,
The
yes.
last year,
Yes.
like
He went from not being an all-star starter to being an all-star starter. He went from not even being thought about in legit MVP considerations to this is a two-man race between Shea and Jokic.
Hold on.
So let me get this straight then. Let me get this straight. So the point that I think that you're trying to make is that Jokic has a more of a value add to the
He is a
Nuggets.
more unique, unicorn, special, like whatever
But
kind
he's
of
only a
adjective you
unicorn
use.
because God blessed him with being hella tall. Like I'm sure if Shea was
Stop.
he's a unicorn, Jay. He's a unicorn
Then that
because
means that means there's like 50 unicorns in the league because they're 7 feet tall.
no. Listen, he has the ability to pass. He has the ability to shoot. He has all those unicorn abilities. But he can do everything that Shea can do, except God blessed him to be taller. Shea can do everything that Jokic can do. He's just not freaking 6'10" or 6'11" or whatever. Come on, Jay.
No, that's Jokic put the work in to
And
be
so
that
did
skillful.
Shea.
That's reps. That's work that's skill. Like
You know
Jokic
how harder you hoop. You know how hard it is for a smaller player to be as good as a taller player in basketball. You got to put in work. You got to really have. So a lot of the times, Jay, Jokic just puts his shoulder into somebody that's smaller than him, and he just does a little post hook. I'm sure he's worked on that post hook, but I could guarantee to you, it takes a lot more skill and hard work for SGA to go out there work on off the dribble pull-ups, off the dribble getting to the hoops. Like he had to put in that work too, though. Like I just can't get with the statement that like that Jokic has more of a value at. I think that Nuggets team would continue to be
no.
good.
Okay.
Like I generally think this Thunder team would be a play-in team without Shea. And except they're the number 1 seed and going toe to toe with Jokic.
Yeah. So I guess we're talking about the same thing in different facets. And what I mean by that is because Jokic is 7 feet tall and he can do all these things that he put work in. God's blessings to me are your ability to have a 40-inch vert, to like have that burst, them boosters. Like that's athleticism. That's the quick twitch stuff. He got none of that. And for him to go in there with nothing but hand-eye coordination and transforming your body just so you can run up and down the court for 35 minutes a game, like, and then to go back to your point, SGA, I'm looking at his numbers from last year to this year. Damn near the same, one and what. The thing is, the team is better around him. The chemistry, the coach, J Dub leveling up. He went from year 1 to year 2. The rest of the team is prime. And that's why when I go at SGA, it's like he's a step above right now, Steph and Halliburton. But if the rest of the team around the Pacers and the Warriors were ready, I'm not so sure that I would put SGA in front of Steph and Halliburton. It's because the team is right. Do you know how ugly a situation can get when the team starts to deteriorate? You start seeing 2.5 people on you all the time. Like you've carried a bum squad before, bro. I know because I was the bum on your team the last time we hooped.
Never.
I know you know what I'm getting at, bro. Like, come on, man.
The attention is different. I hear what you're saying. The attention he's going to be seeing is different. But I mean, you could say the same thing for remember when Jamal Murray was out with that ACL injury. I mean, Jokic was struggling at that 5th seed, and then the next year Jamal Murray came back. Boom,
that is the truth. But I feel like that's arguing for my point because, like, watching him. Like when I saw the Warriors, the year the Warriors won the championship, that was when the Nuggets had like Will Barton, Bones Highland, and that bum squad. And I was watching him kill the Warriors. But because the Warriors won that series, and I think it was either 4-2 or 4-1. But I saw Jokic. This was the year before everybody else knew. I was like, dude,
he's that guy.
Draymond has no chance to stop him. Once they get Jamal and then they got Aaron Gordon and KCP and it was a wrap. But all I'm saying is big banks takes little bank. Jokic, you're right, because he's 7 feet tall. is afforded advantages that guards don't.
Mm-hmm.
And but the skill and the the efficiency, bro. He doesn't make bad decisions at all because he gets to sit here and touch the ball at the free throw line extended and make a decision based off of what you guys want to give him. And it's just it's nasty. But the replacement level to me is the reason I'm going with Jokic. So
Okay. No, I know. I mean, I feel it. I think this is like how I started it by saying it's a 5-man race in my mind, a
yeah,
5-man consideration race, but it's really a 2-man race between those two. There's really, I feel like, no wrong choices. I feel like
yeah,
if you like Shea, you like.
yeah.
Well, I'm not even gonna say if you like Shea because I know I talk to you all the time. I know
Yeah.
you love watching
I
Shea.
love.
So it's not that you don't like Shea, but it's just you're arguing more for Jokic. I'm arguing more for Shea.
Yeah,
It could really go both ways, which is it makes sense as to why that the Oklahoma City Thunder is the number 1 seed and the Thunder is the number 2 seed with the same exact record. So,
yeah.
but yeah, Jay, right, yeah, I'm right there with you, Jay. Well, actually, I'm not right there with you, but what I will say is great MVP race. You can't go wrong. Shea, Jokic, but
Yeah.
hopefully Shea wins it, man. I'm maybe I'm a little bit on the banter of voters fatigue. I'm tired of fans. Y'all let us know, or not even fans, family, bro. Y'all let us know in the comment section down below. You got Jokic, you got Shea. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, I really want to know, and give me maybe a reason as to why, because there's a lot of reasons both ways. But Jay, do you have anything else you want to add to this MVP debate, or you want to move on here?
No, I just like to give credit to the top folks in the game doing it. The voting, who actually wins, I could care less about. I just recognition and the new kids on the block. Like I said,
Yeah,
Shea's just out here just killing the league right now. He's a bucket every night. So
yeah, and just to show some love to my guy, Luca. I feel like he could be
mhm.
up there, but the record wise, it's just it's tough.
Yeah.